me start by saying a few words about the bill that was passed last night to keep the government open and to make sure that our agencies are funded until the fall of next year. This, by definition, was a compromise bill. This is what's produced when you have the divided government that the American people voted for. There are a bunch of provisions in this bill that I really do not like. On the other hand, there are provisions in this bill and the basic funding within this bill that allows us to make sure that we continue on the progress in providing health insurance to all Americans, to make sure that we continue with our efforts to combat climate change, that we're able to expand early childhood education that is making a meaningful difference in communities all across the country, that allows us to expand our manufacturing hubs that are contributing to the growth of jobs and the progress that we've seen in our economy over the last couple of years. And so overall, this legislation allows us to build on the economic progress and the national security progress that's important. Had I been able to draft my own legislation and get it passed without any Republican votes, I suspect it'd be slightly different. That is not the circumstance we find ourselves in, and I think what the American people very much are looking for is some practical governance and the willingness to compromise, and that's what this bill reflects. So I'm glad it passed the House, and I'm hopeful that it will pass the Senate. One of the things that was very important in this legislation was it allowed us the funding that's necessary to battle ISIL, to continue to support our men and women in uniform. We put a lot of burdens on our Defense Department and our armed services over the last year, some of which were anticipated, some of which were not. And this gives our military, as well as our other agencies, the ability to plan over the next year with some stability.